Well, good morning. This is Hero again. Well, these trees need pruning again. So I thought what I'd do is to go ahead and work on these and show you what we're doing. This one is the Chinese elm, and basically what we have to do is keep it in check. So you notice that I'm taking off most what's going up and saving these that's going down. That avoids the wiring process. One thing about Chinese elms, you could tell the quality of the bonsai tool because it's one of the most difficult ones to cut if it's dull or a poor quality. This one was good, but it's getting a little bit on the older side. Now for you, most of you would never wear out a decent tool, but I go through so many thousands of them per year that yes, I'll probably in 1 year's time get 10 years of your. Anyway, so that's what we do. Let it grow and then cut it back. Let it grow, come back. I'd like to see something on this side that it has a decent root flare. And as we go up, movement and taper. Just wish there was something here. Might work. A lot of times when you scar it up, it will start to send out shoots. We'll see what happens. It's Yatsubusa elm. It's a type of Chinese elm, but it's the dwarf variety. You can see the leaves are smaller and then has a little more serration on it. So, and I'm not sure, is it because they're dwarf that it's not growing so vigorously, or is something else the factor? Now, just needs light pruning for this one. So, seems like the tree is healthy enough. I don't know why it's not growing as vigorously as the regular one. Now, design-wise, I'm torn right now of keep coming up this as a double trunk, or do I cut it off here, right here, and make it into the first branch? And a lot of times, I'll go ahead and leave that for whoever's purchasing this to make that decision. This one here is another type of elm. It's called winged elm. It's kind of a silly plant if you ask me. Okay, so in terms of pruning, not much on this guy. It's usually more rambunctious, but I think it's fairly well root bound. Still healthy because it's nice and green, but it's root bound enough that it slows down. And so if this was in a bonsai pot, if we just kept taking these big ones off, it would be uniformly small. Well, if it was in the ground, these leaves are huge. At least 2-3 times this size. So anyway, is pull. See? Okay, so this was the dwarf hinoki cypress. This one here is a dwarf boxwood. It's just like the regular boxwood, except it's the color of the leaf is slightly lighter. It's not that vivid green. And I think it does grow a little bit slower. Supposedly, it's supposed to be kept very low when you put it in the ground. But as a bonsai, it makes a nice one. I need to get inside and trim this up. So I just go inside and kind of clean up so you could kind of see the shape inside. Now, this is where I still have this thought of having this for classroom, right? So I don't want to be overly done, just enough indications so that you have an idea of what you might be getting. But especially this batch of material is for classroom use. So I want to give enough indication of the possible, but not so much that it's done. That's kind of what I've been doing, is trying to get people interested. And I think we talked about it before. You know, bonsai is not so much the finished product, but this process that we have to go through. To me, that's the enjoyable part. Well, actually, that's a kind of a lie. I wish these would just shape by themselves, because now I could see as a hobbyist, when I have a dozen or so, it's nice. But when you still have almost 3,000 plants, then it's more of a chore. But I really shouldn't complain. This has been a good business, and it's definitely turning out to be a great semi-retirement. I get occasional big sales to make it worthwhile for me to keep going. And also, I think I talked before about what's happening with this pandemic is I'm getting more new people interested. I think because they realize that they need something to do at home. So unlike a lot of the businesses, mine has not been suffering much at all. Actually, not at all. Not a great way to have a good business, but it's what it is. Anyway, you can see what I'm doing, right? I'm just trying to open it up so that a person trying to select can have enough indication of what's the potential, and then the finish could be theirs. So this is the dwarf boxwood. Now, you know, I've been making this video so that there's a new posting every day. Now I've gone into every other day. And I was thinking to go back to my original plan and only have 1 or 2 a week. Well, evidently we have enough followers that I guess gotten used to seeing my posting daily, that I guess I might have to backtrack and at least do it every other day. Well, you know, some of this is not that easy to do, to post every day. Well, I have other things to do, but I do really enjoy the comments that I'm getting from you, especially all your positive ones. It kind of encourages me to keep going here. But yeah, somewhere down the line, I'm going to have to scale back this posting. But right now, we got nothing better to do. Well, I got plenty to do, but can't go anywhere, can't travel, so I'll see what I can do. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. From the left, Yatsubusa elm. Next one, Chinese hackberry. And the winged elm, Hinoki cypress. And kind of hidden behind it is the dwarf boxwood and our common Chinese elm. And then to our right is our Japanese maple. So anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll put these back, and you know what? I got over 100 more of this size. So this has just been sort of a representative of what I've got to do. So anyway, I'm off to do the real work. So anyway, all of you, please stay safe, and I'll see you again in another chapter.